What's going on, everybody? FYB presents Wise Word Wednesdays, a quick live stream to help you get closer to accomplishing your dreams. I'm your boy, the host, Joe Spider, and I do represent the Fresh. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check this out, whether you're watching on Instagram Live, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, or you watching or listening to the recorded version. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Now, first off, I want to say Happy New Year, to everybody. I know I've been away for a minute, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but I hope that your holidays were well. I hope that your family is well and safe. I also, want to make sure that I extend, you feel me, some grace to those people that are, going through some challenging times right now in Southern California. You know, praying for them and hoping that that their families are safe, and for those that whose families aren't safe and who's lost everything, man, y'all definitely are in my prayers. I know there's a couple of my folks on social media that have sent some stuff down to SoCal to support. So I just want to say, man, I'm definitely praying for y'all, and I wish y'all the best in that aspect, because I know that can be very challenging. So I just wanted to make sure I acknowledge that. But I have a really, really dope episode for y'all today. I've been gone for a couple of months. I think my last episode I did was in November. I was supposed to do an episode in December with my boy Devon from Play Black Wall Street, the board game, but I got sick. We were actually supposed to do a live version, a live episode, because he was out, in where he was in Northern California with me. But I got sick, and I was like, look, I can record it, you feel me, if you want to, but you might go home sick, you feel me? And he was like, nah, I'm cool. And he didn't bring his equipment to Northern California. So that's why I didn't do an episode in December. But we back here in January 2025. I can't believe we made it this far, but we here, and I'm thankful of it. Now, I have a special guest that I'm bringing up to the episode today. This is a homie of mine. We've been, pretty much locked in together for a couple years now. I've seen this man grow, and seen his brand grow and blossom and do some amazing things. And so we just gonna have a genuine conversation. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Wise Word Wednesday show, my man Farouq from A-Bass Clothing.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me, for real. Thank you for
Yes,
having me.
sir, bro. How you feeling?
I feel good. I feel good, man. It's been a long day, but just grateful to be on this platform to kind of share my story. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you taking the time. 'Cause like I said, it's been a long day. I'm sure you've been on the grind and whatnot, bouncing around. So appreciate you taking some time to join me on the show today. So first off, for those who don't know, tell them a little bit about what A-Bass is.
So my name is Farouq Dado. I'm 30 years old. The founder of ABAS, which stands for Always Be About Something. ABAS is a clothing brand that I started when I was, I believe, 17. Again, I'm 30 years old, so it's been a long time in the making. It's we're a brand. Um, our main goal is to inspire others to kind of go after whatever it is they want in life. Right. Ultimately, the brand is created to give people a sense of belonging, a community, to give people resilience, to give people a sense of hope. So yeah, that's what the brand is about. It's all about basically chasing your passion and going for what you want in life.
Dope. And there is an episode with us on the Ivy League. I think it was season 2 for YouTube or something like that we did a full interview. It was myself, DT, Reese, and Steve. We did an interview with him. So definitely go to the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel. Speaking of that, subscribe to the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel. I don't know what you're doing right now, but please hit that subscribe button. I love the interaction we be having on the Instagram live, because people can pop in, drop a couple of comments and pop out. But I do want to encourage you, if you can, to subscribe to the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel. That's where I'll be. You can see the full content of these interviews. It's under the live section. But you also, when you leave comments on the YouTube channel, I can actually post the comments on the page, so it's dope. Supermodel 15 said, "Hey, what's popping? We appreciate you sliding through." So yeah, so if you leave comments under the YouTube channel, then you can, we can post those comments on the actual live, and people get to see it as well, and it can be documented and recorded, as opposed to me just reading it. But I always read them for show too. But so with ABAS, man, I remember there was a couple years ago, you did a show, like
Yeah.
it was a like a fashion show, but it
I-
was a bunch of your spring line, right? Or was it the fall line? I can't remember.
we had two. So we had one in the summertime, which was the Always and Always, and then
Mhm.
the double back one was the Flourish in the fall.
The
Same year.
flourish in the fall. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can work this for a quick second. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can do this. What made you want to do the flourish in the fall?
Um, the name of the collection was called Flourish, and I was just,
Mhm.
again, everything I do is very intentional, and it was kind of a way to embody the message of like maybe all flourish, and it was around the fall time, so it just just perfect time for it, yeah. And also, I was trying to at the time introduce a newer, a different side of the brand. I think I jumped too soon, but the goal for that was to kind of push the brand in a different limelight as opposed to what we were used to. But yeah, that was like my intention behind that.
No doubt, no doubt. It was a really dope event. I was actually there. Let me see if I can I'm a share screen for a quick second. Uh, me allow that. Um Boom. Okay.
Oh wow. That got work.
Whoops.
That was a great time.
Yes, sir.
That was
Yes, sir. Yeah. So that was definitely a good time, man. I was um, super impressed, man, with just the way you were able to have such organization. I do want to shout out JB's in the comments. He said the link up we needed for show. Much love, bro. But yeah, the organization of it, like the attention to detail. Obviously I know some people that were, a part of it, for everything from the catering to the setup
yeah.
to the DJ, the models, everything was dope. Like, what made you, feel that was necessary for the community in Sacramento?
Um, yeah, it was just like I think going off the first one and seeing how like well received that was, I just felt like it was time to kind of like bring something. Granted, there's a whole Sacramento Fashion Week that goes on. Shout out to them for everything they do. But for me, I wanted to do something that I can kind of put on and like kind of the dress code was formal attire, so just creating something where we could have for the city in a sense of like not having to go to New York or going to LA, just coming here, having it here in Sacramento was very big for me, and the fact that I wanted to kind of grow that type of expectations for what we do in Sacramento was definitely something that I was being adamant about at the time.
Yeah, it was dope, man.
Yeah, no,
I had a really good time. I feel like there was like a notable fashion person there. I can't remember. what
Um,
his name was, but he
I
was
think
like some.
Mario B. The only person I remember having
Yeah,
conversation with Mario B.
yeah, super notable. So,
Yeah,
how'd you pull that off? When you was just
I
like, "Hey, bro, come check me out," like.
honestly don't. I met him that night when he got there. I didn't even know how he knew about it. I just one of the things where at the end of it or towards the end of it, we had a conversation, and that was my first time meeting him or talking to him. So yeah, it was great. It was great. So many people that I didn't even know, and that's the beautiful thing about the whole thing. We had such a great rollout with it. We did great in the sales and tickets. We like it was something I was thoroughly impressed with how we worked, and it was a group effort. It wasn't a me thing. It was definitely a lot of people and a lot of parts that made that a success the way it was.
No doubt. I love that. I love that. So tell me what's been going on with ABAS because I mean for a minute I remember you took like a quick break for a while.
Yeah, I stopped the
You kind of
brand.
you shut the brand down for a quick minute,
Right,
I figured it was more of a reset as opposed to like it being over just because me, knowing you and understanding how entrepreneurship goes and things like that. And you have highs, you have lows.
right.
You got times, sometimes you gotta, not necessarily reinvent yourself, but you just gotta make some changes. So what came about, and how long was you, not necessarily down and out, but how long was you, in the dark for or away for?
So I tried to make it like, oh, I'm done. I quit. That was like very intense. Try to make like
Yeah, if you'd have told me that, I'd have laughed at you right in front of you, like, yeah, okay.
yeah, like, I tried so hard and like for a while, a few people believed me. So I did this whole like ABAS is gone forever. But I was very intentional with the wording because I said goodbye to the ABAS, right? Because I mean, I was never really going to stop. And if you know me for real, you know that was never going to be a thing. But it was more so I was just kind of watching how I was moving as far as like the pieces I was dropping and just the way the brand, like the messaging was no longer there. It felt forced. It felt like we no longer stood for anything. And then for me, I remember when I first started, I used to tell people if you're not about nothing, I don't really want you wearing my clothes. I was that
Mm,
adamant about it. Granted, things change over time, but it was just I was kind of looking at the big picture. I had a couple of dope pieces here and there. I had a couple cool ideas. And I think for me, one of the days that like it clicked for me. Sorry, I got something in my eye. So one of the days that clicked for me was I was going somewhere and I was trying to get ready, and I was going through my closet and I just saw myself literally skimming through all my ABAS stuff, and I looked at my bed and it was just all ABAS items. And for me, that moment was like a awakening moment. Like, yo, what am I doing? Like, I have a clothing brand, and everything that I'm trying to sell to other people, I'm overlooking myself.
mm.
That was like a very like I can't truly believe I'm giving people value if I don't even see the value in things that I currently am looking at. So that was like, okay, let's stop. Let's kind of retrace our steps, because again, back to that fashion show first in the fall, that was the quality that I was trying to moving forward. But again, like the interview we had, that was a very high moment, and the day after that was a very low moment for me. So I was like, my intention was to move at that level, and I just saw when I kind of went back in time and tracked my steps, I just saw the decline in the quality, not necessarily the merch, but just the quality of like how I was presenting the item, the quality of how the brand looked, just the quality in general, like the value we actually gave to our tribe. So yeah, I took the break. I was down. I wouldn't say down and out, but almost a year. I want to say like close to 10 months. We were out of commission, and it was just the first time I was able to kind of work on the brand without wanting or needing validation from other people. So that
Mhm.
was a lesson that I learned, and I'm so grateful for it, because being able to sit there for months and months and design stuff and see other brands post, oh, they post this new drop, that new drop, wanted to just like jump in the game, be like, oh, I got some dope stuff too. um, that urge to just jump and be impulsive was like I learned to tame it, and I learned to really like, okay, it's not time yet. So I kind of trained myself to just focus on the quality of what I'm doing and understand that when I'm doing something, it's because I want it to be timeless, not because I'm gonna get 100 likes or 100 sales. It's like really I'm creating something that can be timeless. And like all the things that are dropping now, I've been looking at them for over 6 8 months, and I still love them. I still wear them. So for me, it kind of put a new system in place where it's like, rather than just making something and dropping it, I need to be able to make something, look at it for a long period of time, and still love it every single time I look at it. So it definitely helped me create a new criteria of like how to go about dropping items. It definitely put the concept of creating timepieces in my head. And again, back to that value, like what are we really giving? Like people can buy clothes anywhere. What is it about us? Like what are we offering outside of clothes, outside of whatever, that makes the tribe want to stay and be like, nah, I'm rocking with them. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's what's been going on for real.
Let's I want to touch on some of it because you mentioned a couple of times like this whole like validation thing. Like what
Right,
was because I obviously, being a creative, what I'm
right.
saying, like there's this famous line, I think is Erica Badu. She says, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, being a creative, somebody who's constantly putting things out there, to a certain extent, you want to feel like what you're doing is appreciated.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of, like hard, like people don't see the hard work that goes into
Yeah.
making it what it
Yes.
is. Like all they see is like, oh, Farouq
Finish
got some
rock.
clothes, I'm finna buy it. But it's like, no, but I had to do the work to
Mm-hmm.
go find the material. Then I had to, what I'm saying, which means I had to buy multiple different materials and test out who had the best one,
Right, right, right.
find the material. Then I had to get the stuff to go on the material. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't see all of it. And then I had to test it out. Some trial and error, some didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do recognize, what I'm saying, the us as artists, people that are putting things out there, you want to feel a sense of validation.
Yeah.
But like, why do you think that it got to the point? Because you had people buying A-Bass. Like it was
Yeah.
at one point in time when I'll be walking around Sacramento, I couldn't not see an A-Bass. You know what I'm saying? Either a
Yeah.
hat, a hoodie, some socks, or whatever, like some shorts.
Facts.
It was everywhere, right? So you were clearly getting the validation in regards to people supporting you. But what was it like? Was it not people like posting you, not people not getting the amount of money you feel like you deserve based on what you're selling? Like what was it that made you feel like the validation wasn't there?
I think just that idea of like when you think of the brand, or I'd say when people thought of the brand in the past, and again, it's all in my head. I don't know if it's true or not, but the validation for me was like I'm not seeing people receive the things that I'm making the way I know they can. Not like, for example, I see folks in my ABAC stuff in the gym, which is cool. But like again, back to that moment for me where it's like, even I'm not looking at ABAC as like, oh, I'm gonna put this on. Like when I step out, I'm gonna wear this item because that's gonna be the way I showcase my fashion sense, right? I was
Mhm.
seeing a lot of that. I saw a lot of support. People bought the stuff, wore the stuff. But I think for me, just stepping into that little realm of like people deliberately looking at us as like, okay, I want to see what they drop next because like whatever it is gonna be dope, and like basically using us as an instrument to showcase their style. That was something that I felt like I wasn't really seeing too much of. And then I had to go back to the fact that like, well, I'm not giving folks that quality of items, so how can I expect that out of them? You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like just I think the way I was thinking about it was more so I hadn't seen people regard us in a way of like, oh, timeless fashion, or like, you know, I remember this A-Bass shirt from 2 years ago that I still like. I wasn't seeing any of that, right? Where I see, for example, people are rocking Gucci from 6 seasons ago because it's still a way to showcase something, you know? So
Okay,
I think
got you.
I think for me it was that knowledge of like I see people rocking it and like really messing with it, but like not in a way where it's like timeless. It's hard to really again. This is all in my head. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing certain things, but I just know how I felt about it because even I wasn't even seeing it like that. I was just like, I got a bunch of shirts and I could probably see one out, but when it was time to get dressed and really put it on, I wasn't throwing on A-Bass. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna have to push back on you, bro.
really,
I am, because I disagree, man. Like I can only speak for myself,
right?
I still be rocking it. You know what I'm saying? Like I still be, and in fact, I'm mad that I didn't get the pink version of the hoodie you got on right now. So if you got
Oh
some more
yeah.
available, if you got some more available, let me know because I want one. But I think that I'm gonna push back because I feel like people were, but I also think it takes some time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because like everybody was rocking it because it was fresh, right? It was fresh, it was brand new.
Right.
Like for me, there's literally a bass shirt that I rock whenever I bring this specific pair of Yeezys out. It's the only it's the like it's like a neon,
Neon green.
yeah, like a neon green. It go
Yeah.
perfect with my Yeezys. So
Yes.
I only wear them with
With
those Yeezys. You know what I'm saying? So that shirt might have gotten rocked maybe like 4 times. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 times. So like I don't know. I think you just didn't give it enough time because that was from what 2019, 2020, and
yeah.
it's 2025. And if I pull it out now, it's like you know what I
So,
mean?
yeah.
You feel me? So that's why I say I push back because it's like like I said, everybody was rocking it, but I think we didn't have enough time to necessarily like make it vintage. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? To where
Yeah.
it's like, give me some time. Now I could be like, hey, y'all remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was still out. Like it just came out. You know what I mean?
But I mean, to that point though, there is a point in time when I stopped that I feel like like for example, this was the last thing I dropped before I stopped. So
Hmm.
I think for me, when I say that moment, there was a specific time period where like that feeling was very prevalent for me. Towards
Mm,
the end is when I got back in my bag, I would say. So I dropped this. I dropped a Bass Worldwide T-shirt. I dropped some dope stuff towards the end of that of me stopping. But when I started doing that, I was like, okay, if I can do this, let me just stop and really own in on like the quality. I dropped the Joy jacket. So it's some stuff that I dropped that I feel
yeah,
like
that Joy jacket is fire.
like it's some stuff that I
Oh,
know that I dropped that I'm like I really mess with. But I think there's a small window that I realized like I was just throwing shit at the wall. I don't know if I can cuss on here or not.
yeah, you good. Talk your
Okay,
shit.
yeah. I was just throwing shit at the wall, and that, like I think for me, I saw that there was a point in time to where because I was trying to just get the money, I was dropping every Friday
Mhm.
just because, and that's when I'm like, okay, I saw the quality in what I was doing diminish. The prep time was terrible. Like I would make a shirt at 9 a.m. by 7 p.m. it's already live. Like things like that. So I'm talking like I'm alluding to a specific time period. I'm not saying all the A bass has been like that.
Got you.
It's like prior to the fashion show, but to that point, fire. The in always shorts, by his grace, like we had some great stuff. But I think
Yeah.
for me in that time period, there's a specific time period where I'm like, yeah, I'm just dropping bullshit. Like even down to the point where I dropped. I tell a story all the time. I dropped a Drake shirt, and that's when I was like, oh, you want some bullshit, Farouq? Like
Mhm.
the Search and Rescue song, the Come and that song. Uh,
Yeah.
I I made a shirt. It says hit the group chat, tell them it's a rap. And I don't even know why. I just liked that song at the time. So I just put that on the shirt, put it out there. And I look back and I'm like, why'd I even but it's like you're a brand, so you can't just take it back.
I'm about to say you might want to calm down on mentioning Drake right now. It's not looking.
I'm not even tripping. uh but
He might sue right now. We gotta be careful.
but so I put that out and then what when it dawned on me was I got zero I got a bunch of people in the comments talking about this is fire, can't wait, da da da. I got zero sales.
Mm.
That was the first time I've ever experienced like dropping something. And like I'm looking at my computer like something wrong. Like
Refresh. Hold
yeah,
up. Like
like nothing coming in. Like
this app ain't working. Hold on.
yeah,
Hold on.
like
let, me,
I'm like, hold on, bro. Like I'm like, it's 12 o'clock. I dropped at 11.
let me file a report. What's going
Like
on?
there's nothing happen. I'm like confused, like genuinely confused, because that's never happened to me. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, let me repost and like make a whole announcement, whatever. Same thing. I didn't sell a single of that shirt. I literally ended up giving it to my homies. Like, hey, you want a shirt? I got it. Like, so that period of time for me was when I'm like, oh yeah, we on some bullshit.
Mm.
We doing whatever at this point. So yeah, no, the break was definitely needed. And yeah, I actually thank God for it because not only did he teach me like the impulsiveness in the brand, but it also kind of seeped into my actual life where it's like I'm not needing to do certain things for social media no more. I'm not needing to, because I see myself really working hard and nobody knows. Literally nobody has a single clue of what I'm doing, but the fulfillment I'm getting from coming home, designing some shit, being like, I don't like that, like going through the process, all of that seeped into my life where now it's like I can work. I don't need you to know what I'm up to. When the final product is ready, you'll just see it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm just grateful for that, honestly.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge a comment. Leangel226 says, sounds like you had a shift in what you wanted your brand to be over time as you developed as a person as well as your brand. I think that's spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Clap for that. That's
Uh,
beautiful. That was
facts.
literally, if I could have said it better, I would have said that.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
literally.
Yeah, I think and I think there's this quote from, I don't know if you ever listened to an artist called Jay Electronica,
Yeah.
but he has this quote where he says, familiarity doesn't breed gratitude, it breeds content. I think that's
Mhm.
kind of what you were feeling at that time as well, is just like, I'm putting out whatever because this is a part, almost like I'm just going through the motions at this point. Like
Yes.
I make something, I drop something, I sell something. I make something, I drop something, I sell something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think at some point you kind of started questioning, like, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
Like, is the purpose impact? You feel me? Or is the purpose to make a little bit of bread? Now we always know I gotta make some bread. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
this ain't free. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the law. That's the
All
law.
this work ain't free. Like the doing the bread stuff is in maybe year 1, year 3, 2, year 5.
Yeah.
Now it's, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm trying to make some cheese or whatever. But you know, I think it sounds like that's what you were going through. It's like you start to have to question the purpose of what you're doing, and go back to the root of why you did it in the first place, why you created, you know, ABAS in the first place. And I think, you know, I really appreciate the fact that you had said it was needed. You know what I mean? It was almost like a blessing because like you get this reassurance now, you know what I mean, in what you um in where you're going, as opposed to just going through the motions now. You know, now you actually are tapped in and tuned into what the end result is supposed to be. You know, I also want to shout out a Focus Mindset company. Said they put the two alarms,
Yeah.
sounding the alarm, and Slim Goody Good too said sometimes getting back. For sure. I appreciate everybody that's been dropping some comments. And feel free to again subscribe to the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel, because when you comment in the Wise Word Wednesday YouTube channel, I can actually post it on the show so folks can see it, because everybody's not going to be watching through Instagram. But I definitely appreciate all the comments for sure and keep them coming. But so you took some time off for a minute to, you know, kind of regather, restabilize yourself.
Yes.
And I feel like you kind of are hitting the ground running in a sense based on, you know, what I've been seeing, you know, lately with, you know, you've been dropping some promos,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's more intentional, more grounded, and more directional. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yes.
everything is kind of seems like it's going in the same direction, as opposed to before it was just like I said, drop something and come out. So
Right.
so tell me about like where you're aiming now, and what you see your, you know, your trajectory.
Um, there's no limit to now where we're going. But now the direction is like I was saying earlier, like before we got on here, like in the past, the once I pressed post, once the drop is live, what came from that was the reward in the past, right? So
Mhm.
how much we make, how fast we sell, how many people follow us, like that was the reward. But now the work we've done and to be able to put that out there is the reward for us now. So it's like we can get zero, like I'm already fulfilled. The fact that I was able to put in this work, locking on the creativity and put it out there to the world. I've done my part, right? Somebody out there can get inspired. Somebody out there can see something that like sparks a fire in them and go crazy. So the direction now is being able to continuously tell that story that we used to do. Like I don't know if you remember when I first started dropping, every collection had a name, had a theme, had a purpose for it. So everything we dropped was rooted in that purpose. So in you buying a shirt, like for example, I'm thinking of the joy jacket, you know. Yeah, we call it a joy jacket, but the acronym stands for judge only you. So therefore, in order to have joy, understand that focus on yourself and not anything outside of you. Getting back to that where it's like we're storytelling with our pieces. We're not just, oh, this shit is dope. It's like everything means something. And once we have that that purpose, it's no longer, oh, how well are we doing? It's like, how well can we tell this story? How long does the story need to go on for? Do we need to stop it here? Do we keep going? So it gives a new metric for us to move by without having to worry about any outside noise. It's like, have we told this message to the best of our ability? And do we feel like people are receiving the message in however form we're choosing to tell that message?
Mm. That's real. I love it. And so you've had a couple of people that, if I say I'm familiar with, but that have kind of had a sit down. I saw you did a sit down and answered a couple of questions. And there was Vontae did a sit down, and for those of y'all who are following the show, Vontae has been on the show twice to talk about mental health, and we really did a dope series, and he'll definitely be back on again. And then you had Nahome as well too, kind of talk as well. So tell me about what inspired those.
Um, just because everybody's something is different, and that's something that I feel like we stopped kind of owning in on. I feel like because I'm an entrepreneur, I tend to kind of push that on people in the sense of like, oh yeah, follow your passion. And for me, everybody's passion is to own a business or be. Some people's passion is to go to school, get that PhD, and really rock and do what they need to do in that industry, right? So that the whole questionnaire came from the purpose, from the wants to make sure we're diversifying the stories we tell. You know, being able to capture people's stories, sit them down, and talk to the camera, and also in them talking to the camera, I can talk all day, but somebody might not be receptive to how I speak, what I got.
Mhm.
Somebody might see Vontae or Nahome and be like, "Oh no, I see myself in them," and just being able to kind of also emphasize that. One of the questions that we asked was, "What does always be about something mean to you?" And they both had different answers. So being able to kind of make sure that that net is being casted over our tribe in the sense of always be about something might mean something to me, and it might not look like that to you, and that's completely fine because as long as you're about that, that's all that matters. So the questionnaire came about as a way to kind of really own in on the message that the brand really wants to get out there, which is being about something, whatever that is, and using different mediums to get there.
I love that. I love that. Um, I'm excited to see, how things are going, man. And I think it's sometimes we have to, get refocused and just really tap into who we are. You know what I mean? As opposed to the way people see us,
Yes.
because sometimes I think it's easy to get caught up in how other people are viewing us and how we can kind of how they can kind of, it's almost like they have control over us now
Mhm.
because they have a view of us or a perception or perspective of us, and then it's like we want their support, but it's like what I'm saying, like at what cost, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you lose yourself down the process. Like
Exactly.
something, one of the things I've told myself in the process of doing this was, um, I had to lose sight of how people saw me so I could really see myself.
Mm.
Because
Talk to me.
because once again I was supposed to be this person, and once I was able to see myself like I'm a person rooted in intention, I'm a person rooted in culture, like things matter to me, and it's like I don't need to move in a way that looks like I'm too cool or I don't care. It's like I care about certain things and I like to talk about certain things, so I want the things that I do to represent that and look that way. I don't need to be the cool guy no more, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely like losing sight of how people saw me to finally see myself is something that I feel like this entire rollout is rooted in. It's like,
You know, there's something I think there was a saying that I heard, and I don't know who exactly I heard it from, but they were saying like a man goes through stages, right? Every 7 years, there's like a transformation in regards to mentality.
I have heard that.
And you know, I started to recognize it when I was like 28. You feel
Mm,
me? Like
yeah,
I just the things that I really, really wanted when I was like 21, when I was 19, when I was 22,
yeah.
23, like when I got to be like 28, I was like,
Shit over.
nah,
Yeah,
nah. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember in my pops, he told me when I was 24, he said, I've said this all the time to people, but I was like, he said, son, do not get married or have kids until you're 30. And I
Mm.
was like, at the time, I'm like, Pop, you catting. Like, I'm like, boy, I got a college degree, boy.
Right,
I got a nice job. I got my own spot. I'm
right,
ready. What you
right,
talking about? You feel
right.
me? But as when I hit like 28, 29, I said, oh,
I
like
stopped here.
now I get it. What he was
Yeah,
trying to tell me. He was like, because he was like, son, you don't even know yourself yet. Like you're still trying to figure things out. And like the things that I really enjoyed when I was 21, 22, 23, like I don't find a taste for it anymore.
exactly.
Like I don't care about attention anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're like, when we're young, we
Ego.
try to get some attention because we know attention gonna lead. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You
that
feel
ego,
me?
yeah, that ego,
And
man. Yeah, no,
and and
fact.
as you get older, it's like, bro, like you get more confident. It's crazy because you think you confident when you're young,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But you get older, you like, nah, like you said, I was trying to inflate my ego. Like I was trying to do things that I felt, fulfilling something that didn't really fulfill me internally. It was
Fact,
fulfilling me externally.
fact.
And so I think you hit that point in your life where you're like, I'm not happy with that. Like I
Yeah.
know what I'm happy with. I know what drives me. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
based on what you were saying, that's kind of what I'm getting from you.
No, 100%. Yeah, like I've hit that point in life where it's like you said, attention. I love attention. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still enjoy it and all of that, but now it's from a different place. Like I don't do things for the sake of attention. Some attention is
Mm,
come. That's what it is. But understanding like just I'm grateful for where I'm at. I don't really need anything. One of the
yeah.
things I was very mindful of this past Christmas was like looking at like on Christmas Day, the thought I had was like I really don't want or need anything, and that to me was such a blessing.
Mm,
I've just hit that point in life where it's like I'm genuinely satisfied with my life. Like however this should go up down, I'm just genuinely satisfied, and I'm just at a point of just like true gratitude, and hence why the collection is called Grateful Roots. Like I'm and everything is just going to be a mirror of my journey as I go moving forward, and I hope people can relate to it. But I've just hit a point where it's like, again, like you said, I'm hit a point in life where I can look back and see the different things that I thought I wanted, and see the things that I'm like, oh wow, like I'm grateful I didn't get what I wanted in that instance, right? And in doing that and going back, it helped me go all the way back to where I come from, which is like the things that have been instilled in me, and that, hence the grateful roots part. Because as my gratitude got bigger and bigger, I was able to kind of go back and retrace my steps and be like, wow, like this is who I really am, not the other shit I added on the journey. So, and doing that, I relearned a lot of things that I almost forgot, or like relearned a lot of things that were instilled in me at an early age, but I just kind of like turned them off because they wasn't fitting what I was trying to do as far as like my ego and stuff like that. So yeah, just this point of life is just real peace and gratitude and just thankful for whatever comes or doesn't come. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Absolutely, man. I think it's a beautiful thing, like you said, when you were at, in Christmas, time, and you was like, I pretty much got everything that I need. I think that's an amazing statement because I felt the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it was Christmas time, I'm chilling with my family, me and my mom's. I made this huge pot of gumbo. You know what I
Oh, yeah. Oh,
mean?
I seen that. I seen that. Yeah, I seen
You know
that.
what I
That shit was
mean?
good.
Made the
Yeah.
pot of gumbo. But I was just like, I was just super thankful because I don't need anything. You
Nah,
know what I mean? And,
it's a
and
blessing.
it's a blessing because there's a lot of people who just didn't have anything at all and
Exactly.
need everything, right?
Yeah,
Like, and so it was really, really dope. And I've been getting more and more humble just under the circumstances of what people are going through in this country. You know what I mean? Like, especially like I said, I know I talked about it earlier, those fires
in LA. Yeah,
in LA, like it's crazy, because those are people who were just having a great time during Christmas. You know
exactly.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like they, living the life. And all of that can be taken. I think that's why it's important for us to, especially, as men, to have that transition to inner peace. You know what I'm saying? As we get older, because if like as you get older, you're like, I know what I'm here for, and I know what I need in my life, and what I need in my life is actually good people around me. I
100%.
Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have some money, it's nice to spend some money, it's nice to go out, it's nice to
Yeah,
have a good time, it's nice to travel and all these different things, but at the end of the day, like what's really genuinely important to me is making sure that like my family's straight, making sure that like my
100%.
my close friends, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
are in a good position. You know what I'm saying? Like are solid. We have everything we need. That's what's more important. So it's like, you know, I could that way if something was to happen, because I've been listening to people who did, lose things, lose their homes, complete homes in the fires.
yeah,
And a
overnight.
lot of people I've been talking to, they be like, man, my family good. Like we thankful that we alive, like we straight. And I'm like, bro, you lost your house. But it's like, I'm also thinking about like, well, technically, if all this shit burn up, like as long as my family's straight, I'm straight. Like all this other, I got it before, so I know I can get it again. But
Yeah,
what I never can get back is my family member if they gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, it's amazing that you're able to hit that space, bro. For
uh,
real.
I'm grateful I got here. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't even know here was a place to get to, and that's the beautiful part of it. Like it just one of those things where you just kind of you hit there and you go, wow. Like for me, being in this space and not really, it comes with not really caring what people think about you anymore. It just comes with
Yeah.
great things, but I didn't even know this was a space to even get into because now I'm looking back like, what the fuck was I doing all these years? Like wonder like who were you all these years and like who and why was I even like wanted to be that? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
grateful for the time, my timeline and everything, but there's times where I look back or like I see an old video or I just see or just think back to who I was and I'm like, why did that even matter? Or why was I so hell bent on living life in that specific way? And like, whereas here is where it's really at for real. But you live and you
Yeah.
learn, live and you learn, man. You can't. Your time is your time. And I'm just grateful that I finally got mine.
Yeah, yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's like because I think we're similar in a sense. Like I loved partying. Like I did. Like it's fun, and I still, I prefer now like to go places where I feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I don't like going to spots that if I don't know certain people, I just don't go.
So
I'm cool. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? There's very few spots that I go to where it's like, oh, this is new. I don't know anybody in here. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm cool. And
yeah,
it's not because like there are plenty of hidden gems in Sacramento. It does,
right,
but to me, it doesn't matter. I'm not going certain places if
yeah,
I don't know certain people. Like I gotta know the bouncer or the promoter or the DJ
yeah.
or the
Something familiar.
security. So I gotta know somebody that I'm like, this is why this, it's gonna be a good event because I
Yeah,
know this person. You know what I'm saying?
not fact.
So but younger, you was just like, man, I'm trying to go wherever they at. What's happening? What's happening? What's popping?
Where's it
You
at
know.
tonight, man? That's
Um,
golden
but
text.
it created, this perspective. I think, you know, because we're older now, we're able to look back and say, like that helped shape who I am because now I don't
100%,
feel the need like I'm missing anything. You know what I'm saying?
100%,
Like I
100%.
don't have no regret. It's like, dang man, I wish I would have taken
Yeah,
advantage of like, nah, I did.
I
I
did
took
it.
advantage.
I did it, and I think I'm in a place too where it's like I remember like in the past I would like watch how frequently I went out because I didn't want folks thinking oh he go all the time. Like I was even mindful of how I did it just so it didn't look a certain way. And now one of the things I've been adamant about is like if I want to go outside and be outside, I'm going to
Mm,
be outside. Like
right,
I don't
right.
care what you got to think about it or you like if that's how I feel to need to spend my time, that's where I'm gonna be at. If I need to be inside the house, that's where I'm gonna be at. But like even coming to that where it's like a lot of folks, I know a lot of people that be like, oh damn, I can't go out again because people are gonna be like, oh, you out 2 nights in the I don't care. Like, you feel me? Like no, facts. But it's like I don't care what you have to say about how I live my life. It's mine to live. Like you do what you want with yours, I'm gonna do what I want with mine. So even coming to that, it's like it's just again all a blessing. Like you feel me? And I don't get it wrong. I'd be outside if I want to. Like when I still be going out. But again, like you said, it's one of those things where it's like I like familiar places because again, we're all a little older, so it ain't all about trying to discover the new. You know what I'm saying? Because we kind of know what we like, what we don't like. So now it's like going to places that I feel comfortable at, like just like you said. But at the same time, once in a while, I'll step into new territory. But again, it's been vetted. It's not just like brand new. It's vetted. I know I might know somebody that's going that might invite me or something like that. So, but yeah, definitely though, just being able to do as you please when you please. I think it comes with the serenity and being at peace. Like I don't think people think about that side of it. They be like, "Oh, you at peace? You in the side? You zen?" No, it just for me, it just means being able to live at your own accord, however that looks like for you.
Exactly. Like I'm just doing what feels best for me as opposed to caring about the way they think about it. You know what I'm saying? I do want to shout out JD is in the comments on the YouTube. He said fire conversation, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Dylan. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you always tapping in. But yeah, it's having that content in oneself. And it's like, now it's like you said, like when I go out when I want to go out. I don't like if me and the homies want to go out, we're gonna go out. And if we want to stay in the crib, we're gonna stay in the crib. Like I don't care. But I did have a point before where I was like, ooh, how is this gonna look? Or, ooh, I wonder what they now. I'd be like, I could care less. And I see why old people are so stubborn. Because the older you get, the less you start to care about what somebody got to say. Like, fuck what they talk about.
Older people look like they having hella fun because they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yo, like, why have you appointed somebody to be the judge of you?
Yeah.
That's the most ridiculous thing to me. And for a long time, I did that. But it's like, again, when I look back, I'm like, why did I let these people judge me and like determine what I can or can't do? That shit is crazy to think about. But
insane. But it's because we're human, right? Like, and so we definitely desire or crave acceptance from our peers.
Yeah,
it's just a part of what I'm saying of who we are as our biological instinct. But I think because of the within social media, right? Like it causes us, it's almost like enhanced. Like it's like now because before you would just go out and you saw somebody or you didn't, right? Like before social media, I'm old enough to know, like when I was going, so I'm giving my age, but like I could go out, what I'm saying? And people were just enjoying the time. And if you missed it, maybe somebody might post about it on MySpace. You know what I'm saying? They might post about it on Facebook when they got home later that day, but there was no apps on your phone to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, it was just people was enjoying it. But now it's like people will record and post, you know what I'm saying? When Brooke is in the comments talk about some old head. Hey, listen, Brooke, chill. You gotta chill. You gotta chill. You gotta relax. All right, relax. Relax. But it's like we know what it's like to not, or I know what it's like to not have to go through that. But now because of social media, you might actually see all the action and be like, dang, like now I'm being posted on social media going out back to back. And now they think I'm an alcoholic. And it's like, nah, bro, I swear, hold on. We got a comment and I'm gonna address this real quick. So I remember somebody, right? They was like, I thought you were alcoholic. Oh, Brooks said, "Don't lie, y'all was on MySpace." I for sure wasn't on MySpace at the spot. I was on MySpace, but like it was when I got home. You feel me? Like it was when I was
in high school though. I wasn't really.
Yeah, MySpace was for sure when I was in high school. No, MySpace for me was middle school to high school. Like I think I got my first Facebook when I was like a junior in high school or something like that. But I'm giving my age. But
seasoned, huh?
Yeah, chill, Ricky. But dang, I forgot what I was saying.
You're talking about somebody calling you alcoholic.
Yeah. They thought I was alcoholic, right? Until they like started to get to know me. And they was like, you barely ever drink. I was like, yeah. It was like, but every time I saw you before, like you was drunk. I was like, yeah, because I was going out. Like I don't I was out. Like, yeah. But if you see me like on a day-to-day, like I barely drink any alcohol. Like I got wine that's been in my wine cooler for months. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't drink like that. But when I'm out, that's when I'm drinking, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what we socialize for. I do see a comment from Tori Randa. She said, old people do not care about anything. Maturity, understanding, that's the only perspective that matters is yours. Let's go. That's a fact. As you said, but chill.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you commenting and being on the YouTube channel. So I love it when people go to the YouTube channel because we could post it.
Sorry, man.
So shout out to Tori. I wish I had a little of that.
Yeah.
Facts, facts. But I love that, man, that you're able to make that adjustment. You know what I'm saying, and kind of start to figure what works best for you. And I love the thing I love about ABAS as well is that it's always been defined by the individual, right?
Yes.
Like you always go into like, what does ABAS mean for you? What
Mhm.
does it look like for you?
Yeah.
Describe, and I think that's dope because a lot of people be like, my brand is this, and so if you're not this, then don't. But it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but you have this very vague, very open-mindedness in regards to how people might um perceive the brand or represent or articulate the brand.
Yeah.
um I feel like, to be honest, in my opinion, I feel like that's very like ingenious of you because that literally can help propel or elevate your marketability because there's nobody who can say, well, ABAS doesn't, you know what I'm saying?
I've never heard somebody say, "Well, I ain't about nothing." Like
Exactly.
that's that's one of the things, and I gotta credit my 17-year-old self because in that moment I didn't realize what I was doing, but we look 13 years later, and it's like it's still a message that I can tell anybody that, and it just resonates like to a point where it's like, holy, like I remember when I was a medical tech still, I used to wear my ABAS hoodies to the hospitals for my job, and at the time it was the heartbeat line was my logo, and Kaiser Roseville specifically, I remember the whole second floor just like pulled me to the side to talk to me about what ABAS was, and they're in the medical field. They're not creatives. They're not none of that. They're literally about what they're about. But to them, it just resonates so much that the next day, every single one of them put an order for a hoodie.
Wow.
It's just one of those things where I've been grateful to go in different spaces, and once I understand what the space is about, I can kind of just propel the message of like, okay, well, what does that look like for you on a day-to-day basis? So yeah, I'm grateful I stumbled upon this because it was God. It wasn't even me. Like this was something that was gifted to me, and I don't take that lightly. I always say since I was I think 21, 22, ABAS saved my life, like for real, because for a very long time I didn't even know what I was gonna do in my life. I was just like, I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna get a degree. Like there was no purpose for me really. It was just like kind of going through the motions, like I said. So yeah, it's definitely something that I look back on, and I'm just so grateful that I was given that, I guess, vision or given that gift of like being able to really double down on like what is always being about something mean to you, and it just rooted me in like being intentional moving forward for the rest of my life. So yeah,
No doubt. No doubt, man. So as we get ready to wrap things up, man, what's in store for folks, or any particular dates you want people to, keep an eye out for? First of all, let me ask, wait, before you even get to that, when is like the ABAS podcast show coming up? Like, cause I feel like, bro, like it would definitely be dope for you to have your own talk show or podcast or just something. Cause like, I know, what I'm saying, the conversations we be having, but
yeah.
I know there's conversations within your tight circle as well, too, that I think, people need to hear. So is there an ABAS show or a podcast in the works or anything like that? Are you still potentially thinking about doing something like that?
Yes, actually, we started one. I want to say like back at the office,
Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember.
we started a show called ABAS in real life. So always be about something in real life. Um, we never. I mean, I definitely I've talked about getting back to it earlier this year with a few of the team members. But I think also I don't want to do too much too fast because that's how I collapsed last time.
Yeah,
So
burnout.
I definitely want to master the system we have building right now, and then when that system is fully built, adding different compartments to it. So yeah, there's definitely something in work. I think it's important for you to be able to tell their story, and there's a lot of and the audience that I have and the people that I know there's a great way to connect that bridge and where people can tell their stories and kind of could be a blueprint for somebody that's watching. So yeah,
Mhm.
definitely something in the works. Um, Not anytime soon, like not anytime too soon, but
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
soon enough though. Yeah, I got a few things planning out.
no
But
doubt. Cool, cool, man. Like I say, any dates you want people to just keep an eye out for?
uh, I just want people to stay tuned to the Instagram.
Stay on stream.
Yeah, like the Instagram is Abass Clothing, as you can see, but just pay attention to the Instagram, pay attention to the content we're building out. There's a lot of work being put behind, into these videos, into these pictures by, shout out Hockey, shout out Trey. We're the dream team for real. Shout out Vontae, shout out Mariah, shout out Nahome. Everybody really involved. Reese, like there's a whole collective behind everything we're doing, and every single piece that we're putting out, whether it's content, whether it's items, there's a lot of thought, a lot of intention put behind it. So just stay tapped into the Instagram, and yeah, man, I just hope we can continue to give you value, because at the end of the day, if we're not giving you value, there's no point of us even being here. You know what I'm saying? And value for me doesn't necessarily mean I bought a shirt for 30, I can wear it for 5 different wears. Value means before you ever spend that dollar with us, before you ever like a comment post, like when you come to our page, what are we giving you? What can we offer you? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just stay tapped into the Instagram. It's a whole lot coming, a whole lot more, and then some. So I'm just excited to finally get it right. You know what I'm saying? To feel like, that feeling when you start feeling like things start to align for you properly. You're not really doing too much, and God's just guiding you. I feel like we finally hit that point with the brand. So yeah, just stay tapped into the Instagram, which is Abass Clothing. And yeah, man, I'm just excited to kind of showcase the talents of everybody involved in this right now. So that's pretty much it.
I love that for you, bro. And definitely, I'm always rooting for you, rooting for Abass to be successful at all the endeavors that they decide to embrace and embark on. And just continue to let me know if there's ever anything I can do to support. And you're always welcome if you want to have a live conversation on online. We more than welcome to come back on the show, or you can always team with me.
Love it. Love it.
Just have a conversation offline as well too, man. But just know I'm proud of you, man. I appreciate you. We were supposed to link up last year to do this, but I
Remember,
had to cancel at the last minute because I was traveling for work and I was in LA, and I got to my boy's spot and his internet was out, and I was like, bruh, it's bad.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie, that
you
was
know,
God. That was God, because at that moment too, I wasn't even able to get home in time. So when you sent me that text, I was like, thank God. I remember being in the car. I was like, oh hell yeah!
that's what's up.
Like I was like, oh, okay, cool. We can't make it, because I was like, I was still far from home. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this up, but I'm gonna try. But
We was gonna make it work, but the internet was down. I was like, yeah, it's bad. And then my boy hit me like, well, not hit me, but he was like, hey, I'm right down the street from the Intuit Dome, and you feel me? And the
oh,
Clippers playing tonight. I said, big bet, we going, big bet.
oh yeah,
Shout out to Dr. Lewis is in a building. She said, much respect. Looking forward to seeing the new merch. Shout out Dr. Lewis, going crazy. Always super dope supporter and just really big time. I really feel inspired that she was able to hop into the live for a quick minute. I gotta do an episode with you, Dr. Lewis, just a heads up. We gotta do an episode together. But appreciate everybody. Any last words you want to leave the people with?
hey man, just always be about something, whatever that looks like for you. Just be about it, and trust God. Trust God.
That's big. That's big, man. So on that note, I'm gonna leave y'all with the We Fresh, and I love you. Keep on doing it, baby. We out. Holla at me.
Appreciate